Thank you for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Dale and this channel is DLJ from PA. I like to talk about reselling things on Poshmark and eBay. And you're here for my Monday morning coffee talk, It's a weekly video series where I talk about what's sold in the past week and what I have going on in my reselling business. So I'll confess that it's a little late on the East Coast because I took the day off today. I've been working from home for a credit union. I work in marketing at a credit union. So I decided to take the day off because I do these Monday morning coffee talks and I was just ready for a break. So I decided to take the day off for this. So it's just about noon. So it's more like a Monday morning lunch talk for the East Coast. But the nice thing about being on the East Coast is that for the West Coast, it's still like a perfectly good Monday morning coffee talk. So thanks for being here. And before we get into the sales, because spoiler alert, they're not great. I want to let you know about a couple of exciting things that I have going on. So I feel like this is a more special than usual Monday morning coffee talk. So this week I have two super exciting events going on. On Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern time, I'll be on Kat over at the Nurse Flipper. She does a reseller chat and hangout on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. It's a weekly live show that she does with Flip with Chris and Calvin over at the Kelly Hustle and a special guest. And this week, it's me. So I'm super excited to be a part of that. I have joined in the live chat here and there, but I will definitely be there this week as the special guest. So I'm super excited. Thank you, Kat, for the opportunity to be part of that show. And then the following day on Wednesday, it's April 15th at 10 p.m. Eastern, I'll be hanging out with Courtney over at Bolo Buddies. And if you don't know, Bolo stands for Be On the Lookout. And she does a Bolo live show. And it's an awesome format. It's group participation. And so if you have a Bolo to share, so something that you've picked up and you flipped for a great profit, maybe you weren't even expecting it to, like maybe it was an auction and it like skyrocketed without you even realizing it was going to do that. Then you bring that Bolo to the live chat, tell us your eBay store name, give the item number, where you got it, what you paid for it, and what it sold for. So it's a really cool format. So I'm super excited. Thank you, Courtney, for inviting me to be part of your show. So it's just awesome that it's all happening all in 1 week too. So I'm glad that I can let you know about both of those. I'm also working on a super special video, but I don't want to say too much about it yet because I'm not sure if I can pull it off, but if I can, it's going to be awesome. So I don't want to say too much more because it's going to take a lot of work, but I'm hoping that maybe I can get that through this week, but that might be a little ambitious with everything else going on. And I only took Monday off, so I do have to get back to work tomorrow. Okay, on with the sales. So as I said, I haven't had a ton of sales, but that's really like honestly typical for me because I am pretty new to reselling and I'm not a high volume. I also really haven't been active recently, meaning that I haven't listed new items and I haven't been sharing as much as I used to. So, I mean, you kind of get what you give. So on Poshmark, I only had 2 sales. First, I sold the Kate Spade wallet that was part of my ThreadUp box that I got. And I think I started that item around $40 and I kept lowering it with the closet clear outs that Poshmark does. And I kind of bottomed out at 20. I was like, I'm not going any lower. But then I got an offer for 15 and I accepted that. So 15 for the Kate Spade wallet. And I was already in the profit on that box. So that's fine because it's still profit. I also sold a pair of Adidas Stan Smith shoes. They were navy and white. And I forget what I had them listed for. We did a lot of counter offering. Like I would go down $1, they'd come up $2. I'd go down $1 because it was like a really low ball offer, but I did end up, we settled at $18 for them. So I picked those up at the ThreadUp store for $7. So even after fees, I still just about doubled my money. So I was happy with that sale. Then over on eBay, it's interesting because you really have to know what to sell over on eBay. I had done the hashtag soypod video for over on Froggy Flips has a playlist of soypod, which was show off your death pile and show off your pile of death. And in that video, I had kind of like looked around the house, like what else could I sell that we have? And I had some children's books that he said those would probably be a good seller right now. So interestingly enough, I had this set of 22 books. It was a series from 1 to 22 of a kids series called From the Files of Madison Finn. And we actually got these from like my sister-in-law. So the girls' cousins had read them and really enjoyed them, and she passed them on to us. But by the time my girls were old enough to read them, Madison Finn wasn't a thing anymore and nobody was interested. So we never read them, but I still had this series of books. I listed them for $40, and someone messaged me and said that she would be interested if she could do $40 all in with shipping. So works for me. So I did that, and I did ship them medium mail because they are medium mails. So it was only $4 to ship. So it was like a $37 with 3 something shipping. I don't know. Anyway, super excited about that because like I said, we just had them sitting around and I've been thinking I should donate them, but instead I got to make a profit on them. So I'm happy. Then, as I mentioned before, we had upgraded our phones. And so one of our old phones sold for $70. And that person really educated me quite a bit on what it means to have an unlocked phone. And I had to get it unlocked from iCloud and from Find My iPhone and, you know, from the network, which I had done. But then there was also confusion because I was going off of what the box said, and I thought that I had the right phone for that box, but it wasn't. So he's like, no, I'm looking it up and you're not right. It's not unlocked. I'm like, yes, it is. But I had unlocked a different phone than the information on the box. It was kind of a mess. I said before, I really don't want to sell phones, but they sell. So got rid of that phone for $70. And then I sold the last of our old iPhones for $80. And this one I didn't have the box for because I'd used the box on the other order. So I was selling it instead with a LifeProof case, and those are pricey. So I had listed it at $115, and I sent an offer then to a watcher for $100, and he messaged me and asked if I would take $80 without the LifeProof case because he didn't need a case. He had a case. So I agreed, but it was really weird. He wasn't able to send a counter offer. I don't know why. Like, we were sending screenshots. I'm like, just click this. And he's like, I don't see that. I see this. So he wasn't able to send the counter for 80. So what I took 100 and then refunded him $20 and sent the phone out. So hopefully that all works out and I don't have any issues. Then if you watch Harry Tornado, he has been telling us that puzzles are selling right now. And I got to tell you, he's not wrong. So we had this 1,000-piece puzzle that we had tried to put together, and we were like, oh my God, it's just too much. Like, it was too difficult. We didn't have the patience for that puzzle. So I listed that, and I decided to list it kind of on the high side, especially since it was open, and I hope all the pieces are there. But we sold it for $19.99 plus $4.99 shipping. And my girls swear that we bought that at Five Below. So it probably only cost us $5 and it sold within 12 hours. It was a super quick sale. So we do have some other puzzles laying around that I'm thinking I might go ahead and list them because we're really not big on doing a puzzle more than once. We have a couple that I might keep, but other than that, I should get those puzzles listed. So those were all of the sales that I had. I also have been meaning to update you on the Rafis. I don't even know if I told you guys that my Rafis, that member I bought for like $3 at the Goodwill bins, and they were pretty gross looking, but I cleaned them up. They looked great, and I sold them for $70. So excited. They are lost in shipping. So the tracking says that it got to their intended location and then it was returned to sender for some reason. And she said that it's the right address, but it says return to sender and I haven't gotten it. So I don't know what that's all about. I submitted a case with the Postal Service. We'll see where that goes, but really disappointed on that. I hope that it all works out. Maybe I'll get them soon. Maybe it's just, because of everything going on with delays in shipping. But it's been almost 2 weeks, so not too sure about that. So I think that about wraps it up. What I plan to get done today on my day off is I had also in my soy pod video talked about the Nintendo DSs that we had that were old game systems, that my girls used. And so we have four. We have two Nintendo DS Lites and two Nintendo 3DS systems. And then we have a whole bunch of games. And not only do we have the games, which are like, you know, these tiny little square things, we also have the cases. My husband's so smart. He always saves all the boxes and cases for things. So we have the cases for all of those games. So originally I thought, well, I'm just going to do a lot of all these, you know, tiny little games. But now that I have the cases, I looked them up, and some of them I might be able to get like $20 with free shipping, and they'll definitely ship first class. So I want to get all of those listed today. They should be a quick sale, because it certainly doesn't seem like clothing is moving right now. So even though I have a huge death pile of clothing to list, I'm not too motivated to do it because it just seems to be sitting right now. So the Nintendo items and the puzzles I want to get listed this week. Maybe some clothing, but again, I'm just not feeling very motivated to get that done. So that about wraps up our Monday morning coffee talk. Thanks for hanging out with me. If this is the kind of content that interests you, then please click subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified when I post new content, and don't forget to hit thumbs up on your way out. I hope I'll catch you over at Kat's channel, The Nurse Flipper, on Tuesday, April 14th at 8 p.m. or over at Bolo Buddies, Courtney's channel, on Wednesday, April 15th at 10 p.m. So it would be a lot of fun to hang out. Bring your bolos for Courtney's channel, and I'll catch you next time. Because that puzzle sold so fast, did I even tell you about the puzzle? Oh my God, I didn't tell you about the puzzle. All right, we'll cut this in. Then I also sold a pair of Adidas and somebody said that they messaged me. Okay. So